They've been travelling so very nicely in recent times. Of course, the Penrith Panthers mired, well, not mired, they are certainly entrenched in the top four as far as the competition table is concerned. 4 points behind the leaders, Cronulla. And after last week's close-fought victory, or close-fought loss that was against the Newcastle Knights, their first loss for some time. And, well, some people saying that was one of the games of the season so far, Wally.
Terrific game attack-wise. It had every bit of spectacular play you could expect out of a game of rugby league. I think the Penrith players will have pleased themselves. Their coach Roy Simmons, the confidence level that's on board the club at the moment is something that's a huge bonus, and Royce thinks that that is really providing the major platform for them.
They're doing well, recovering for some injuries that they have had in recent times. They still have a number of players on the sidelines, the likes of David Woods and Tony Pulatua, to mention a couple of them. One happy note for them this evening that Mark Geyer, of course a former international, made his return to rugby league this evening in their first division side. And he'll be happy to know that the Panthers were able to beat the Magpies in that first division clash. But here comes the first grade side, led out once again by Steve Carter, back from injury himself. The captaincy certainly will be an inspiration for this side here this evening. We'll take a look at their side. Reece Wesser comes back into the side at fullback. They've had plenty of problems there in recent times. Carter and Alexander are the halves, of course, and Roy Simmons is the coach. The Magpies, led out by their lock forward, Steve Georgalis. They take the field in front of a small but vocal crowd here at Parramatta Stadium. Western Suburbs, of course, still a couple of weeks away from making their debut at the revamped Campbelltown Stadium this year, and their side has been revamped for this game. A number of changes, most particularly to the back line there. Justin Brooker moves from the centres to the fullback position. The halves have changed around as well, and the coach is Tommy Terrific.
I'm going to be interested to see how the McGuinness boys go alongside each other. I think it's pretty important. Centre pairings, especially, they've got to understand each other's play so perfectly in attack and defence. It's pretty hard not to expect these two blokes will know each other's games backwards. I think that could be one shining light that Wests have out there this evening, because they know that they're going to have to stop Penrith's avalanche of attack out wide.
Sean Hanstead is the referee this evening, taking the place of Paul McBlain, who was listed to be refereeing this game, but he himself has succumbed to injury. And we have time on at Parramatta between the Magpies and the Panthers. Penrith will defend the southern end of Parramatta Stadium as Matt Adamson brings it back towards the 20-metre line for Penrith. Great game last week, playing with injury against Newcastle. Battled on as the Panthers lost a number of players throughout that 80 minutes. Here's Sid Domick bringing it outside the 20 now as we welcome viewers across the United Kingdom. Hope you're enjoying the match. We have the Panthers getting the first penalty of the game.
Well, Tom's obviously spoken to his team, instructed them not to let the other team get over the top. The forwards, of course, the clash of those two is going to be very important, but this is something that the Maggies didn't need, having Penrith breathing down their throats after just a minute and a half.
Carl McNamara, a man we highlighted in the pre-game show as far as being a real workhorse for this Panther side, gets it across the halfway line. Adamson to the 40-metre line as Drew gives it off to Alexander. Carter, good ball it was. Scott Sattler straight into a gap. Troubles here immediately for the Magpies, and Reece Wesser gets cleaned up. A good tackle by Justin Brooker. Trouble though, Carter from dummy half. This time it was Hodgson who made a desperate tackle. They'll spread it to the right-hand side. Nigel Gaffey back into this Penrith side after a couple of weeks on the sidelines through injury himself. One more tackle. Drew comes back to the left. Alexander, grubbers for the in goal. Picked up, diving through for the try line, not reaching it was one of the Panthers players, and West have somehow managed to hang on.
Oh, good work from West, good scrambling defence. I mentioned they were going to be breathing down there after a minute and a half. It was probably 15 seconds prior to that. Pretty good scrambling work in attack as well. The kick just going into no man's land, but you can just see that little bit of extra urge in the black and white jersey tonight.
Coxon it is, trying to work it outside their own 20-metre line. Brett Kenny, some nervous moments there for the Magpies early on.
Well, there certainly was. I mean, Penrith have started in great fashion, and it's going to take Western Suburbs a little while to settle down, I guess, but they've got to try and make sure that they can get this set of six out of the road, get in a good kick, and apply the pressure again. Well, the kick wasn't that good. That's not what they wanted. They obviously needed to get into Penrith territory, but as far as the conditions go down here, Warren, a little bit greasy on the surface, but other than that, it's a perfect night for rugby league.
The kick wasn't a great one, as you said, from Leo Dinover. It found Chris 6 on the halfway line, and Jared Mills chasing up was up a little bit too quickly. He was offside, according to the referee, and here come the Panthers once again, Wally.
Yeah, well, Hicks was doing his job there at the occasion. There were some tough times going on. It was going to be a good a chase team that was out there. Unfortunately, the kick just didn't complement the chasers.
Adamson plays it back to Drew. McNamara takes his turn. He runs headlong into Harvey Howard. He's helped in the tackle by Cherry Mesher. Carter gives it off to Sattler, who poured through that gap. Hard to bring down once again in front of the posts here. Just over 3 minutes gone. It's been all Penrith so far. Alexander on the switch. Gaffey was heading back towards the posts. Just a couple of metres out from the Western Suburbs line. Left they come once again. That's where Penrith like to do most of their attacking. A good hands there from Carter. He flipped it up for Reece Wesser. Searches towards the line. Oh, got it away to Andrew Hinson, who couldn't hang on to it. And it should be, well, I was going to say a knock-on against Penrith, but it came off the legs of Andrew Hinson. And it will be a goal line dropout.
Well, the referee pretty much in a perfect position to make the call. Saw that there was a number of West players doing their best to prevent what looked like a possible try. The ball that was thrown inside from Hicks, well, from that angle it really did look like it came off a Penrith hand, but we are, of course, in the wrong view. The referee was right in front of it. Now the pressure well and truly on the Maggies. They don't need this. This is the third set of 6 they've had to defend in the first 5 minutes.
Just over 4 minutes gone. They've only had the ball on one occasion so far. Not the start they were looking for. Adamson comes towards them again, but one factor in their favour is their defensive line has been able to hang on so far. John Cross, 24 metres out from the Magpies line. They come left down the short side. Damara. He will get up and play it back to Drew. Alexander at first receiver. Carter shows it, turns it back on the inside. They switch it now. Wesser. Well rounded up. A number of players there, including Leo Dinover. Cross. Scott Sattler angling back towards the ruck area. Carter. Ooh, saw a gap, only a half gap, and it's closed quickly. A good thing it did. Now another penalty.
Get your hands off the ball. Hands off the ball, Harvey. Shot.
But they're going to take the kick for goal here. Harvey Howard, the man penalised, just getting the hands there and to play the ball, knocking the ball out of Steve Carter's grasp, and Penrith the chance to pick up 2 points for all the pressure they've had.
Making it a little bit difficult on themselves. Penrith, obviously the strain of defending the opening surges of the match is a little bit tough, but giving away a penalty on the 5th tackle was something they definitely didn't need. I think it's a little bit early to say that was insurance policy to make sure Penrith didn't score on the last. But they have shown a little bit of desperation in defence, and I'm sure that's pleased their coach Tom Radonicus a little bit. But if they're not going to be able to get a good kick and chase game going, one that will match Penrith, then they're going to be playing a fair bit of this game in their own territory.
They have been camped at this northern end of Parramatta Stadium, the Peter Sterling Hill end. Ooh, Hicks didn't strike that too well. Missed to the right-hand side, but they will get the ball back from a 20-metre dropout. Chris 6, only a 59% success rate with the boot.
It's dropped a bit more.
And that's why it is only 59%. Wasted chance as Brett Hodgson gets us back underway. Nigel Gaffey it is. Brings it back over the halfway line. Panthers once again on the attack here. Adamson takes it forward. Magpies doing a good job of slowing the ball down on that occasion. Now the Panthers swing it wide. It didn't find Steve Carter. They've lost 20 or so metres there as getting up to play it was Scott Sattler. Wesser darting away from dummy half. He was rounded up by Kevin McGuinness. Is McNamara. He picks up some good metres. Gets the go forward rolling on for them. Alexander at first receiver on the last tackle. The Magpies have done very well from the 20-metre restart. It comes down to Barry Davis. Tracks it back midfield, and the Magpies, for only the second time in the game, have the ball in their hands. Look at that percentage, 84% so far in their own half, the Magpies. Get a chance to work it away from their own line now as Scandalis will play it. Mesha goes back to the left-hand side. Work it up towards the halfway line. Spence plays it. Comes to Coxon. Sporting one of the very few beards we see in rugby league these days. A good kick. Rolling down inside the 10-metre line for Penrith. Reece Wesser back in the side after missing a number of weeks with a shoulder dislocation. The word from the doctors is that the injury can't get any worse than it is, and if he injures it again, it will probably mean this season on the sidelines and an operation. Hicks slammed to the ground. Drew from dummy half. Adamson. A number of fit-ups for the big man already in this game. No score between the Magpies and the Panthers as Gaffey steps off the right foot. Back towards Hodgson, playing up in the line. He's the number one on his back, but has the halfback duty this evening. Alexander. A kick. It lobs down and finds Brooker. Right on the chest as he tries to bring it outside the 20. Wrapped up by Sattler and McNamara.
Can't drag him like that.
The Magpies get the penalty. The first of the game for them. They'll be able to put the ball out of play somewhere around the halfway line, and perhaps their first chance to exert some pressure on this Penrith defensive line. Dinova with not the best of kicks. He picked up perhaps 7 or 8 metres. Wasn't the touch finder they were looking for. Hodgson gives it off, a short ball for Dale Bonner, which a portion of the crowd here, Penrith supporters obviously, thought was forward. Scandalis cross wraps him up high. Mesha, as they go back to the blind side. Georgalis showing it and then giving it. And they'll play it on the halfway line. Some enterprising play as Bonner plays it back. Pushing away from defenders. Kevin McGuinness. He'll play it 8 metres into Penrith territory. To the left-hand side they go. Scandalis, a good fend on Brad Drew to pick up 10 metres or so. One more tackle for them. This particular set of 6. What a great pass from Mesha to Dinova as he goes to the air. The Panthers had so much trouble in the air last week against Newcastle. It probably cost them a game. They've made a mistake here. Western Suburbs looking for the first points of the game. Dinova to the left-hand side. They've got them stretched. Coming back inside, away from the open spaces, was Ken McGuinness. Meshano, 4 metres out. Scandalis, the settler. They are fanned to the right-hand side, the Magpies. That's where they'll go. Dinova gives it off to Hodgson. Cut-out ball for Brooker. Step past 1, got past 2. They will open the scoring this evening at Parramatta, the Magpies.
Well, the referee is calling for the video replay here.
Yeah, this element said the player was taken out instruction.
He's called to question whether a Penrith defender was taken out, and the man that really went down was Steve Carter. It was a very good second man play that was put on. Plenty of pressure on the Panthers defence. The replay will tell us actually whether there was any interference from the first line play. Here comes the second man play here. You can see the first man going through, and I tell you what, he's put out the right foot. Perhaps he may have just been gaining stability if he thought he was going to be bumped a little bit there, but, well, make your own judgment on that one.
Oh, no doubt. On that angle there in particular, I think you'll find that there could be no doubt. The player taken out of the play was Steve Carter, and I think you'll find that it was Matt Fuller on the field for the first time in the game who just had the right leg sticking out there, but I'll stand corrected. It might not have been Fuller.
Carter knew he was gone. He hadn't hit the turf, I don't think, but as he was raising his hand to earn the referee's attention.
In fact, it was Matt Spence in jumper 12 who stuck the foot out there, and this will be an interesting call. The video referee this evening is John Gosha. Oh, there you see it, just in the bottom right of corner. Looking at the complete look at it, the Magpies players behind the line thought there was sufficient evidence to rule a 4-pointer for them.
Yeah.
We'll see what John Gosha thought about it. No try, and it will be a penalty to the Panthers. Well, John Gosha thought, as I did, and I think, looking at the evidence, there was no doubt that Matt Spence
Wait, they're all onside.
completed Steve Carter. Let's listen to Sean Hampstead now.
Keep your line straight, fellas. Keep it, get it ready. It's a penalty, fellas. A penalty.
Yep.
Stay behind the queue, fellas. Stay behind the
Some
queue.
of the Magpies will be mystified as to why they haven't been awarded a try, but one player who will know exactly why is the number 12, Matthew Spence. The Panthers hang on. Some heavy work there on Carl McNamara. A little bit of feeling perhaps now in the game. Oh, getting hit high there was Duncan McGilvray on for the first time. Tate Mosley it was who wrapped him up around the shoulders, according to Hampstead. Cross pushes away from Dinova. Wrapped up by McGuinness around the legs with the help of Matthew Spence around the top. Alexander gives it off to Sattler. Stepping past players. He's been one of the best for Penrith in the last month or so. Here is McGilvray. His second hit up. Taken around the shoulders by Matthew Spence. 10 metres into West Territory. Drew comes to McNamara. Trio of Magpies there to stop his progress. On the last tackle now. We come back to this blind side. Carter it is. Put some pressure on the shoulders of Barry Davis. He goes high, bobbles it, juggles it, takes it on the second attempt. And the Magpies will have it 10 metres out from their own line. Well, they've been scrambling at times, Wally, but they have done well to keep their line intact.
Well, they're showing a lot more urgency previous weeks when a ball's gone high. I think Tommy's been a little bit critical that not too many players have been going back and showing the sort of courage that we've just seen from Matty Fuller. They've got to make the territory with the football, and they've managed to do that pretty well with the limited opportunities they've had with the ball tonight.
Dinova. A little bit of pressure from Scott Sattler. It wasn't the best of kicks. In fact, out on the full. And a happy night with the boot so far for Leo. And it will be a turnover 5 metres into West Territory. Once again, Magpies will have to stand tall here in defence. McNamara. Plenty of hit-ups for him already. Drew a dummy half. Alexander runs towards Carter, looking for the run around. Carter takes the tackle. A strong one it was too from Harvey Howard. A man our English viewers this evening will be all too well aware of with his stints at a number of English clubs, Wigan and Leeds amongst them. Dinova hands it off to Justin Brooker, the man who thought he'd scored for the opening try of the game. Only to have it disallowed by the video referee. Spence, good tackle down low by Brad Drew. He's been doing a great job for Penrith in the hooking role for most of this season with them now. Mesher turns it back on the inside. It will be Mosley who plays it. Back to the left they go. Howard with a head of steam up. Taken by Alexander and Gaffey. One more tackle for them on this particular set. Dinova, a spiralling kick to the air. Going back, Robbie Beckett took it in the field of play and will do well to stay there, and that's exactly what he did. Reece Wesser. Domick. Set up a terrific try for Penrith last week as they took a lead against Newcastle. Now Adamson. Drew waits a dummy half as they go back to the right-hand side. Gaffey. No score between the Panthers and the Magpies with almost 15 minutes gone here at Parramatta. Carter, the torpedo kick. Will bounce and sit up quite nicely for Brooker. And in. At least 3 Panthers there. Andrew Hinson playing in the centres, filling in for Ryan Girdler, as we said before the game. Absent in State of Origin duty for the New South Wales side. He'll be happy to be in the centres this week after his trouble with the high ball against the Knights last week. Nesher waits a dummy half. Comes away to Coxon. Couple of tackles left for them in this particular set. Tate Mosley has done a lot of work and gets a good fast pay the ball away here. Grubbing kick in behind Chris Hicks. He keeps it in play and brings it back. Nasher, one of the chasers, hit the deck. And able to hold him just outside the Penrith 10-metre line. Sattler. The weathering the storm early on, Wally. The Magpies do look the goods here in this middle section of the first half.
Controlling it very well now. I think they've got a little bit of confidence up. There's good urgency in their play, and I think one point that stands out more than it has in any previous week with West is the angles they're running across the ruck, really confusing the Penrith defence.
Gaffey will play. One more tackle for the Panthers. Alexander kicks, finds some open space between Barry Davis and Justin Brooker, who has to track a long way across to his right-hand side. Davis it is who plays it. McGuinness standing in the tackle, gives it off to Hodgson. A step pass through, he unloads to Dinova. He comes to them. He's tackled by Matt Adamson. Here's the kick again from Greg Alexander, and he immediately grabbed at the groin.
Yeah, he's been hanging on to it all the way down too. It looks like he's in a little bit of strife with it. Had the limp going for a while. Perhaps we might see Coach Roy Simmons decide just to rest him for a while.
Of course, has missed a lot of games this year. 6 or 7 of them in a row after being injured in the first game of the year. Has been troubled by a neck complaint in recent times. Has limited his appearances for Penrith. Wesser under no pressure at all to take the kick. He played inside his own 20-metre line. Robbie Beckett, one of his rare touches this evening. A good chop and tackle down low by Tate Mosley, but he didn't hang on to the flying Beckett. He was able to get to his feet and go again. Wesser. Afraid to take it. The Western Suburbs forwards. Oh, Brad Drew has made a mistake here at dummy half. Harvey Howard has pounced from marker. The Magpies have it 10 metres. On the Penrith side of halfway, Georgialis went to his right-hand side and suddenly realised there was nobody outside to support him. Takes the tackle, and now they work it back to the left-hand side. Coxon tries to fend away from the tackle of Gaffey, but he can't do so. Scandalis, a loping run. Tackled by Alexander. They could ill afford to lose him this evening with no Gower out there to back up in the halves. Hodgson, cut-out ball, came from Georgialis to Kevin McGuinness. He had nowhere to go. Still no score here at Parramatta between the Panthers and the Magpies. Hodgson. Sauntering run as he offloaded to Brooker. He's tackled quite awkwardly, and there hasn't been much happening for the Magpies in these last couple of tackles. Charge down, played at by Andrew Henson. The kick came from Dinova. There will be a new set of 6 for the Magpies. Dinova stepping away from Adamson. The Magpies are applying plenty of pressure here on the Panthers in this midsection of the first half. Howard dumps it off. It comes back to Dale Bonner. He heads towards the post. They've crossed the line once already, but have no points to show for it. Can they make amends here? Mesher from dummy half on the run around. Good ball to Coxon, standing out wide, picked up by Domic and Alexander. Mesher waits, appealing to referee Hampstead for a penalty. Hodgson runs straight at Matt Adamson, submits to the tackle. Dinova at first receiver. Cut-out ball, similar play to the last one, which saw them denied a try as Mosley will play it on the last tackle. Kevin McGuinness gives it off to Dinova, rubbering for the in-goal, picked up by Steve Carter. A brilliant take, gives it off to Robbie Beckett. Here come the Panthers on the counter-attack from deep inside their own territory. It was like a pinball machine there for a moment, but Steve Carter, brilliant hands, and here goes Wesser. He got away from Brooker. They may not catch him. Steaming after him, a brilliant tackle made by Jared Mills. 10 metres out, though, from the Magpies line. John Cross, a pass to Alexander. He has Domic outside him. It comes to Hinson, though, instead. He was looking to offload, and they're still just 10 metres out. If they go back to the right-hand side, there are plenty of gaps there. The West defence really struggling, but instead David Elvey takes it for a settler. McNamara it is, the dummy half. Carter turns it back. It came from Gaffey to Domick. He is hemmed in. No way through them there. It's taken them a number of tackles, and they still haven't got the ball to the right-hand side where there was a huge overlap. Now they split it. Alexander, a loping pass, knocked down by Ken McGuinness, and it will be 6 more tackles for the Panthers.
So you'd almost put that one in the not fair bin. Magnificent defence from West. You've got to pay a couple of credits here. Brilliant break from Wesser as he took off. It looked like he was home and hosed for a while, but just have a look at the determination written all over the West defence. Jared Mills, the man that put in a huge chase. And when it looked like West had successfully kept Penrith out for the set, a simple knockdown from McGuinness gives Penrith another set of 6 to attack. Boy, isn't that an impressive stat. Breaks 8.7 times a game.
Domick will play it. Back to Beckett. A man who was instrumental in that long break. They go forward towards the post. McNamara.
Hands off.
Another hit up as they play it just 8 metres out from the Magpies line. Alexander showing a number of times. Gaffey it was who was hitting the gap, but Randy elected to hang on to the ball. Carter shows it to Domick. Has Hinton outside him. Beckett on the wing. I think the pass was forward at any rate. And once again, the Magpies have found a way to hang on here and keep this Penrith side out of their own in-goal area.
And they've got out of jail.
Defensive effort.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was going to say they've got out of jail through impressive defence. They've stayed on the inside. When they need to rush up and smother the Penrith attack, they sprint up. When they need to give themselves time, they simply bite the bullet, hang back a little bit, slide, and so far, Brett, it's given them the benefit every time. They're looking every part as good as Penrith so far.
Well, they certainly are, and you've got to pay big credit to their defence. As you said, they've scrambled very well. They've known when to come up, when to hang back, and I think in a way they've frustrated the Penrith side into a couple of errors.
Brooklyn will play it. They work it back to the left-hand side. Some heavy contact in there as the Magpies do a good job of moving it up towards the halfway line. Terrific run it was for Michael Braybeck, the smallest forwards you'll see in the competition. Bonner again, bumping one as he came to both Elvey and Gaffey. Hodgson. Kick looking for the Penrith in goal area. They need a good chase, the Magpies. The ball wasn't kind to them, though, as Wesser was able to come back just into the field of play as the ball set up for him. Plenty of backspin on it at the try line. Beckett. He'll play it back to Hinson. Comes to Chris Hicks off that right wing to help out. Cross. Quickly across the advantage line and gets it to the 20-metre line of the Panthers. They haven't been able to make the meters they were in the opening minutes of the game, and it really has been the quintessential arm wrestle since the first 5 minutes. Carter stepping inside players on the last tackle. Plenty of pressure from the Magpies. Now it's the Panthers who are making mistakes inside their own territory. Georgalis trying to scamper around Hinson. Steve Carter there perhaps favouring that right arm. McGuinness will play it. That's Kevin inside the Panthers' 30-metre line. A spirited performance this is from the men in black and white. Scandalis, short pass, gets it back. Nice hand from the Magpies. Hodgson, he gives it away to Ken McGuinness. Good tackle down low by Matt Adamson. 25 minutes gone, still no score here at Parramatta. Dinova, cut-out ball. They like that play on the right-hand side. Off the legs of Carter, he couldn't get to it. Played at, you would think, and it will be 6 more tackles, surely, from referee Hampstead.
Here we are, fellas, here we are.
Not called, so the tackle count continues on. Braybeck avoided the tackle of Elvey. And this will be the last tackle. Now the Magpies fans realise that there was no 6 again ruled by Hampstead. Oh, Wesser under plenty of pressure. Tackled in the air, I thought. Carried back to the in-goal area.
That's right.
And Hampstead will rule a goal line dropout, but I'm sure the fullback was tackled in the air.
Well, Hampstead's arguing with the players.
I saw it.
Well, I think he realises he's incorrect here. The new rule in rugby league, if a player jumping into the air to catch a football can't be made contact with until he hits the ground. And I tell you, he was still halfway in the air when contact was made with him. Hampstead's had a couple of tough games over the last couple of weeks and handled them pretty well. But that, I think, time will show that it was an incorrect decision.
It might have just slipped from his mind momentarily as Steve Georgalis received some treatment on the ground. Back near the try line where the tackle was made on Wesser. Here come the Magpies nonetheless. Fuller plays it. Back on the inside. Braybeck spinning. Comes to Dinover again. Brooker up in the line. Has Kevin McGuinness in support, but there are plenty of numbers there for Penrith. 20 metres out. Brooker at dummy half as it goes to Leo Dinover. Tate Mosley out up around the shoulders. Good tackle made by Carl McNamara. Going from dummy half, a brilliant run. Sensational stuff from Cherry Mesher. He almost caught the napping. Just a metre away from the line. He'll play it back to Dinover. Hodgson it is at first receiver standing wide. A flat pass, a poor one perhaps. It didn't go to hand. Play on it was knocked backwards. Now Sean Hampstead says no, it was knocked forward.
He knocked it on. He knocked it on there.
It was a poor pass, but it was a poor choice. The selection from the Maggies to go to the left-hand side, I think, was the wrong one. They had about a 3-on-1 overlap to the right-hand side. But now the weight is on the shoulders of the Penrith boys. They know that they've got to get away from this end of the territory if they want goings to be a little bit easier for the rest of this first half.
Drew from dummy half. Comes to McNamara. And the Magpies infringing.
Smart play from McNamara. He heard the call from the referee to stay out of it. Simply targeted the player that was nominated from the referee.
Stay on the kick, Phil. Stay on the kick.
What a battle we've got here this evening at Parramatta Stadium. Penrith just about unbackable coming into this game. Extreme favourites. And they've got a game on their hands this evening. Approaching the half-hour mark, still no score at Parramatta Stadium. The temporary home ground of the Western Suburbs Magpies will move to Campbelltown in a fortnight's time. Oh, mistake here made by Scott Sattler. Heading back to the right-hand side, swooped upon by Brett Hodgson. Fuller running at them. Big contact in there from David Elvey. Front on tackle. Scandalis. And Braybeck running shotgun. Looking not to use him as he plays it back to Mesher. Brooker, the fullback, has had a lot of work to do in attack up in the line. Through the hands to Dinover. Trying to find a way through. Tackled by Sattler. Mosley goes forward. Just a settler, still a couple of tackles left though for Wes. Hodgson, first receiver on this right-hand side. Again, contact, a brilliant pickup. Barry Davis, what a volley, what a try to the Magpies.
Got him onside there, Leo.
Denied once before, this time Hampstead points to the spot and Western Suburbs will play from in front.
And they'll play from in front because Penrith have failed to control the football. Turning over possession once again. The bounce a little bit fortuitous. Coming back to Hodgson, who put the ball on the foot. Really, from there it was anybody's. After the ball was plucked, you can just see the Penrith players bowing their heads. But on the other side, it was exactly the opposite. A very proud Maggies outfit.
Yeah, well, they've played very well, Western Suburbs, been under a lot of pressure up their other end, and once they got down here, we've already seen they had one try disallowed. But a little bit lucky, but still, the guy was in position, Barry Davis. He was there to accept the luck and was able to go for a very good try. Maybe this is a wake-up call that Penrith need.
Well, I guess that's an important point Brett just brought up there, that he was in position. It's a rap that we've given Western Suburbs a couple of times tonight. They've shown a lot more urgency in wanting to chase their kicks downfield, and some of them haven't been the best of kicks.
Hodgson with the kick, makes no mistake. Western Suburbs lead the Penrith Panthers 6 points to 0. What a last 25 minutes from Western Suburbs after being in all sorts of trouble early on. It's been very much their game at the other end of the field. Brad Drew it is who'll get us back underway here, just over half an hour gone, and it's the Magpies who lead the Panthers 6 points to 0. Looking perhaps for their second victory of the season. Their lone victory came against South Sydney at the Sydney Football Stadium, and they beat the Rabbitohs 20 points to 18. Coxon showing the ball as the Panthers on their heels wait for him to hit the line. Mesha fires it off to Fuller. Look at the confidence now in this Magpies forward pack. Running quickly to the advantage line. Here's Mosley. He takes it forward, offloading as well. Mesha keeps it going through Hodgson, showing it to Kevin McGuinness. Still not tackled. Hinton has him, slings him towards the sideline. One more tackle for the Magpies. Diniver it is. Just rolling it for the touchline, eating up the clock, sending the Penrith forwards back to about 20 metres out from their own line. They are playing with plenty of composure.
And the instructions going from Diniver just to slow things down. They don't want to overload, of course, on confidence. They've got the crowd behind them. The majority, it seems, Western Suburbs supporters here. They want to make sure that they just remain in composure.
This time West Penrith's got the feed. Just go down and stand there, West. Greg, this side, Greg. Greg, Simon. Hold it, Penrith. Right, Greg.
Alexander from the scrum base gives it off from Carter and comes to Wesser, who tried to bounce away from Ken McGuinness. Possession now. After it was all Penrith in the first 5 and 10 minutes. Certainly evened up. Wesser pushes away from a couple of players. Carter in back play after a tackle. He's holding his head. Didn't come out of it all that well. Gaffey goes forward. A good tackle down low. It was Tate Mosley who made it. He's done some great work for the Magpies since coming off the bench. Sattler and straight at Hodgson, but once again, this time it was Braybeck, another of the interchange forwards, making a good tackle around the legs. Hill goes back inside his own 20-metre line to field the kick. Brooker from dummy half. The question now is, can West keep it going for the next 6.5 minutes remaining to half time? We've seen them, of course, be in contention in a number of games this year, only to fade in the final 20 minutes of the second half, perhaps. But so far in this first half, there are no signs of a wilting black and white lineup. Spence picked up and driven backwards by Duncan McGilvray. Battle the benches here this evening as far as the forward packs are concerned. The Magpies perhaps having the better of it. Hicks takes it with a deal of comfort and comes back towards the halfway line. Alexander waits at dummy half. Sattler at first receiver. Carter turns it back for Wesser. Picked up some good meters for the Panthers. The counter attack just made that long run. To be tackled by Jaron Mills. McGilvray beats the tackle there of Mosley. Driven backward, perhaps on the second effort by Harvey Howard there. Alexander, numbers to the left-hand side. Gaffey was trying to get the arms free, couldn't do so as he was wrapped up by Coxon. Sattler gives it off to Drew, standing at first receiver. Hopkins it is. He pushes away from Tate Mosley. Rodeoed from behind by Hodgson. 20 metres out on the last tackle. Drew goes to the right-hand side, gets the grubber in. Oh, beautifully picked up by Justin Brooker. What soft hands under pressure on his own line.
Well, he got himself in perfect position. He knew that he had to get down to the ball, take away the element of doubt should it bounce up a little bit. And that's really been the story for the Magpies in those first 40 minutes, the commitment they've shown.
Spence goes forward. Coxon. And straight at Sattler. A little bit high there, perhaps. The tackle from Adamson. Coxon a bit the worse for wear. Magpies fans here. Also, it was perhaps on the chin. Another charge down here. A chance coming through for McGuinness. Played at, perhaps, yes it was, 6 to go. It comes alive. McGuinness throws a pass, looping over the head of George Arliss. Now kicked at by Barry Davis.
But not played at.
Didn't play it.
And it will be
Penrith
a
ball,
Panthers loosened feed, but
Didn't play the ball.
Western
Penrith
Suburbs
ball.
having lots of success with the ball bouncing off Penrith players off clearing kicks.
Well, right at the end, it was questionable whether he should have actually taken off, but he would have had to beat one of the quickest blokes in the business in Robbie Beckett. Perhaps if the kick had have been into safe territory, it could have been a further headache to the Panther machine tonight. They're in strife. They've got just over 3 minutes to go. They've got to try and turn things around.
It's been amazing the number of ricochets we've seen. It's almost as though the Western Suburbs players, in particular Leo Dinover, are aiming at the Panthers and these kicks, especially when they're close to the line. Carter, though, gives it to McGilvray as the Panthers launch an assault. Tackle by Coxon and McGuinness. Spread to the left-hand side. That's where they go. Carter, cut-out ball. Good hands from Sattler on the first bounce. Goes back to the right. Looking for players to link up with. Met by Coxon. Still not tackled. Throws a pass. Well taken by Gaffey off the thighs. They travelled about 70 metres in total for a net gain of -1, I think you'll find. Adamson. Good tackle by Hodgson. Playing at halfback tonight. Great tackle on the big man. Carter. They spread it to Hinson on the last tackle. He's wrapped up. Forces the ball out the back. Here comes Beckett. Trying to push away from Mesher. The hooker can't put it with the winger. He kicks for himself. It comes down room service style for Justin Brooker. And he'll be tackled inside the 20. What a game we've got. The pace is unbelievable. Robbie Beckett has a long way to run back to his left-hand wing. He must have covered 50 metres himself before he put the kick in.
The worst part, after he got over there, he's got to run all the way back to get on the wing.
Looking for an oxygen tank. Just a couple of minutes left here in this first half. Mesher gives it off to Hodgson. Shows it, takes the tackle of both Domic and Alexander. Really good kick. Oh, it wasn't the pass they were looking for. In fact, it was forward from Mesher to Michael Braybeck, or was it Jared Mills, in fact, who fired the pass? It wasn't the option. I'm not sure that Braybeck realised there was at the last tackle. It was Mills from dummy half, and there was the pass going forward as Sean Hamstead got a ruling from his touch judge. Adamson bounces away from Braybeck.
Warren, I was just wondering, could that have been ruled deliberately forward, just looking at that replay?
It was line ball. John Cross, though, inside the 30-metre line. Perhaps the Panthers' last chance to put some points on the board in this first half. Carter, once again, just things aren't clicking for Penrith here. The combinations aren't there that have been prevalent in the last month or so. McGilvray goes forward. The Magpies have had them rattled. Drew, stepping past players. Oh, great run from the hooker. Ankle tap. Important one it was too from Braybeck. Cross on the last tackle. Alexander goes to the air. Brooker with plenty of time to take it and does so in the in goal. They've hung on here, and that should be enough for the first half. The Magpies looking at least a 6-point lead at the break.
Well, a pretty poor kick in the end by Alexander, but I think you've got to understand that Brady was under a bit of pressure there. You've got to give credit to the West defence, who've given their opponents absolutely no time to move all night long.
Guys, I think the worst thing that could possibly happen to Western Suburbs at the moment is the half-time break. I think they'd like to just keep playing on.
Mesher gives it off to Braybeck. They'll be happy to see out these final seconds of the first half. Their attack has been good in the last 20 minutes and their defence has been outstanding. Penrith have spread the ball from sideline to sideline, but no result to show for it. There is the siren to end the first 40 minutes here at Parramatta. Greg Alexander can hardly believe what he's seen. in this first half. Western Suburbs leading Penrith at the break. 6 points to 0 here at Parramatta Stadium. Tommy Raudonikis having a couple of final words for the Western Suburbs side as they prepare to come out of the dressing rooms and back onto the field here at Parramatta Stadium. There you see the halftime stats as the Magpies lead the Panthers 6 points to 0. Possession extremely even after it certainly was very heavily in Penrith's favour in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game. They've still spent a little bit more time in their own half with the ball, the Magpies, but line breaks have been even. Offloads, though, definitely in favour of the black and whites. John Cross has got through an enormous amount of work in that first half. Once again, 20 tackles. Just the 4 hit-ups, but when you make 20 tackles in defence, you can be excused for not making that many hit-ups. Here come the Magpies. No doubt buoyed in that performance in the first 40 minutes. As we said, Greg Alexander and Steve Carter at times trying everything but couldn't find a way past the line. Cherry Mesher, 21 tackles. And while you were making note at half-time there, just how quickly he does bounce back to his feet after making a tackle.
Oh, well, I'm wondering whether he's allergic to grass. He makes a tackle and he's on his feet within half a second. Gee, he does some work. And I think that he's really the guy that sets the example for the rest of the Magpie forwards. The work rate that he gets through, I think, embarrasses a lot of people to think that they've got to do the same level themselves, setting a great example and leading the team from the front.
Brad Drew gets us back underway as the Magpies will defend the southern end of Parramatta Stadium, the Brett Kenny Hill end. Couldn't be named after a better player. Mesher will play it just outside the Magpies 20. Brooker straight under a tackle, comes to Wesser. Oh, great tackle made by the fullback. Brooker gets up and goes again though. Offloads it to Kevin McGuinness. He circles back to his left-hand side. It comes to Harvey Howard and he charges forward. The Magpies on a surge. Can they keep it going through this second 40 minutes? Scandalis, but the arm free, knocked the ball down.
1-0.
Will be picked up by Scott Sadler. Chance there wasted by Western Suburbs. What a break it was by Justin Brooker. John Cross fends away from Leo Dinova, stumbles as he came towards the halfway line. A couple of missed tackles early in this second half. Adamson goes forward. Oh, Reece Wesser, after that tackle on Justin Brooker, coming from the field. And the Panthers can ill afford to have another fullback go by the wayside, of course. Shane Elford before him and Peter Jorgensen out injured. Jorgensen for the season, Elford for perhaps another month or so. Last tackle, just outside the Magpies 20. Carter grubbering for the in goal, a beautifully weighted kick. Going back, Barry Davis gets back to the field of play. Has scored the only try in the game so far and did marvellously well just then. Brooker tackled by Hicks and gets a penalty.
There was a hand.
And a good call from the referee.
Well.
They don't miss too many of them these days. Seems to be something that the players flirt with a hell of a lot. Referees have shown that they're quite willing to blow the whistle when there's a hand in the ruck. And of course, that was the second tackle for West, and they really didn't look like they had much organisation about their attack at that stage. Now, they'll do it a little bit easier, 30 metres out their line on their first tackle.
Howard plays it. Once again, darting through after dummying from dummy half was Cherry Mesher. Wore a forearm, I think, around the forehead there from Steve Carter, and showing the after effects of it. Perhaps a stray finger or thumb accidentally in the right eye. Carter just wants to get back on with it. And here we are, time on. Georgialis from Dinova. Coxon trying to hold off a couple of Panthers. He's tackled just inside the Penrith side of halfway. Fuller plays it back to Georgialis. Here's Scandalis carrying the ball in one arm as he's met McNamara and Adamson, front row partners. Dinova on the last tackle, trying to kick for the in-goal area. Hicks back there with Wesser off the field. Will do well to get back to the field of play here. Step past Jared Mills. Oh, great run from Chris Hicks. He's still going. They can't tackle him. What a pass he threw under pressure. I don't believe he threw the pass, but here's Beckett streaming down the left-hand wing. He went past McGuinness. He couldn't get past Brooker. Oh, what a run. What a pass from Chris Hicks. An absolute suicide ball, and they've picked up 70 metres. Here he is now at dummy half. It's Hinton, in fact, running away from dummy half. Scandalis made a collaring tackle. Sattler, he spreads it to Alexander. Takata knocked down by Ken McGuinness. It will be a knock-on, and the Penrith side will get 6 more tackles.
No knock-on.
Oh,
definitely no knock-on.
What about the counter-attack from Chris Hicks?
Well, it came through a little bit of disorganisation. We've got to pay credit to a couple of the players that have shown a fair bit of courage on this occasion. Hicks ran the ball out. Mills just got a little bit out of position. Here's the counter-attack. A lot of the West people thought that ball went forward. It didn't, half a metre backwards. But here's a very important play. As he took off Beckett, great play from both of the people involved in here. He knew that if he kept going on his feet, he was going to be in trouble, and taken over the line by Justin Brooker. Sensational chase from Brooker. It went about 40 or 50 metres across the field.
Scandalis isn't travelling all that well as he looks at his shoulder. Comes back to the scrum.
Warren, I've got an update on Reece Wesser. We mentioned before he's not long come back from a shoulder injury, and unfortunately it looks like he's done the shoulder again.
That is a shame, and it probably will mean a shoulder reconstruction for the young fullback, a former Australian schoolboy fullback. So the Penrith side just having no luck with fullbacks. 3 of them now on the sideline for lengthy periods, perhaps 2 of them for the season. McNamara, though, 10 metres out, will play it back to Brad Drew. Alexander gives it back to Gaffey. This Magpie defence has been outstanding close to their own line. Plenty of numbers there once again. Drew from Alexander to Carter standing wide. Loops a pass over. 3-on-2 out wide. Adamson tackled by Kevin McGuinness and Barry Davis. Hicks, a long pass picked up nicely from Drew. Had the arms free. Got it back to John Cross. He will reach out and score a try for the Panthers.
What a ball from Brad Drew. Magnificent pass. Probably a slap in the face to the Magpies, who have shown wonderful defence for the first 46 minutes of this match. The shift from left to right was a good ball that came across, wonderfully picked up by the hooker. On his way to the ground, popped it up, and you've got to pay a lot of credit to the support play of John Cross.
Yeah, well, it was a great pick-up, and really there was nothing on. He stood, he didn't know what to do. He's just taken the ball full. Great pass, well backed up by John Cross. This is the type of start that Roy Simmons was looking for.
Well, they shifted out. A good ball from Scotty Sattler, throwing left to right, never easy in football. Tried to spiral it, probably didn't go exactly where he wanted it to. Alexander probably available if support play was necessary again. But gee, you've got to pay credit, let's remember, to one bloke at the other end of the football field, Chris Hicks, who got the ball out of the in-goal area, set up a wonderful counter-attacking play that could prove to be a very vital part of this match.
Hicks from 10 metres out takes plenty of sand, but ties the ball game up. It is 6 points all at Parramatta between Penrith and the Magpies. What a start to this second half. The end of the first half was amazing, and it's just got better here in this second 40 minutes. Who'd have thought we'd see that scoreline? Magpies back at halfway to get us back underway. Steve Carter there with heavy shoulder pads on. Here's McNamara. Brings it outside the Panthers' 20-metre line. Sloppy play of the ball. Oh, well, surely a penalty coming up there.
You got to stand
does
square.
come from Sean Hampstead.
I know. He didn't go square.
Well, Alexander complaining. Harvey Howard, he believes, has been committing the same infringement around the ruck, making it a little bit tough. Well, if he's done it successfully so far.
Here's Adamson, just runs straight at Leo Dinover, and little Leo carried him for about another 5 metres before help came. McNamara slammed down backwards by Fuller and John Scandalis. Gaffey They just pick up some good metres here. Spurred on by levelling the game up, Alexander. Sattler will play it now. John Cross. Ball from Brad Drew. What a season he's having in the number 9 jumper for the Panthers. Carter goes to the air. Pressure coming up for Justin Brooker. He didn't want any part of it in the end, and Barry Davis, it was the winger who did quite nicely. Under a deal of pressure, and the winger handled it well.
He plucked it out. There were a couple of good Penrith chases as well. Held his composure and did pretty well, but it's very important that the Maggies can get out of this area of the football field. They've done it quite successfully throughout the first half.
Scandalis bounced away from Adamson, who was trying to put a big hit on him, and Adamson came again and gave him one to go on with in the tackle there. Mesha. Number 9s for both teams having great games this evening. Dinova sandwiched. He went towards the halfway line. Mesha. Spence showed it. He went straight past Hinson, it was, or Domick, before he was tackled, and he got it off to Jared Mills now, just 20 metres out from the Panthers line on the last tackle. Dinova comes away to Hodgson, rubbering for the in goal. West looking for a peat set of 6 here. Beckett coming to the right-hand side, will be rounded up just on the dead ball line, and the Magpies will get it back for 6 more tackles.
Gee, there's a lot to admire about the way that West have constructed their kicking game. Brett Hodgson, a lot of occasions, has stood 2 or 3 wide, but the chasing is what's got them into great position like this. Tom Rodonicus has said in previous weeks that he just doesn't think there's enough commitment from the team in desperate situations. Well, there has been so far tonight.
Dinova traps it with the boot. Gives it off to McGuinness. Magpies looking to reply to that equalising try scored by John Cross. Fuller standing in the tackle. And plenty to say to the Penrith defenders as well. Georgialis going to run around with Mesha. Wrapped up was Brooker. Back to the open side. What a great pass from the dummy half, and Scandalis has been ruled to have knocked it on.
Well, it's disappointing because Scandalis has been one of the Magpies' best so far tonight. A pretty poor pass. If it had gone to hand, I think we could have expected to see one of his trademark smashes up the middle to gain another 10 or 12 metres. He's been doing that pretty well this evening.
Sean Hampstead looking for a tackle on the stat sheet himself there from the scrum base almost. Apologised to Greg Alexander on the run for getting in the way.
Put it down as a missed tackle.
Gaffey plays it. Back to the right-hand side they come. Oh, Lee Hopkins ran into the shoulder of John Scandalis there. Strong stuff as they try and work it from inside their own half. Hope you're enjoying all the action. Warren Smith at Parramatta Stadium with Wally Lewis and Brett Kenny this evening. Brad Drew comes back off his right foot. One more tackle for them. As Carter is a dummy half. Looking for the touchline. It will indeed go into the in-goal area. All coming across. Justin Brooker had to play it. Was forced over the sideline by Matthew Reek on the field in jumper 17 for the Panthers. A young flyer who has come through the ranks, a local junior. Look at him here, charging down on the ball. He was a chance of getting there until Brooker realised he had no play but to play at the ball.
Yeah, tough decision to make from Brooker. It was that close to the sideline. He was wondering, is it going to get there or not? He was forced into making the play. And that's 2 great kicks we've seen in the space of 2 minutes to trap teams in behind their line to force a goal line restart. Will Penrith be any more successful in cashing in on the next set of 6?
Once again, drop out, trapped on the boot. Almost in the spirit of the FA Cup, of course, coming up later this evening. Drew. Henson it is, trying to find a way past that Magpies line. Sattler. Tackled by Dale Bonner. Duncan McGilvray pouring on the speed towards the right-hand side. Tackle just 5 metres out. Still tackles left. Cross fires a quick pass to Alexander. He sees a gap. Didn't have the speed to go through it. The pass over the head to Beckett. Stepping past players, looking for the line. He just couldn't find it. On the last tackle, Western Suburbs stretched once again. Here's Carter. Oh, a kick. Bounced off the head of Brooker. Played out. It will be 6 more tackles for the Panthers.
Hands off now, hands off, hands off, hands off.
That will be the 0 tackle. Alexander to Drew. Cut-out pass. McGilvray was coming through and John Cross has put it down cold.
0. Behind, Penrith, behind.
Great work from West to put the pressure on. They really got out of jail there. I don't think there was one of the back line that were on side at the time, but you get away with what you can is what Penrith have at this stage. Oh, but another turnover. A comedy of errors has led to the referee ordering a knock-on.
Lost the call.
West will get the feed.
No,
Two
there was
mistakes in the space
advantage.
of not even one tackle.
There was advantage. There was advantage.
They're going to try and win their way through this. They're getting frustrated.
Sean Hampstead ruling that there was a knock-on from Penrith. There was the first one made by the Magpies. It was Hopkins who picked it up, and Hampstead ruled that there was advantage played there. The ball just came out the back, and gee, it looked like pretty much play on to me.
Well, it looked like there was a little hand in there as well that pushed the ball out.
Yeah, I think there was a penalty.
Gently persuaded the ball onto the grass.
I'll stand corrected. Here's Howard. Plays it quickly. Bustling his way back to his feet as it comes to this left-hand side now. Heady work once again. Mesher. Pass out in front of Tate Mosley, who had another good 15 metres. Both he and Coxon off the bench have been great for the Magpies. Mesher on the last tackle. It wasn't a great kick. It will find the touchline, but didn't pick up anywhere near the field position they were perhaps looking for. His first kick in general play this evening, and his average just 0.3 a game. Doesn't do that much kicking, does he, Cherry?
Well, I think his role in the camp is just to provide a little bit of organisation in the middle of the ruck. He does it in scrums as well. Gee, his value to the team in defence is absolutely first class.
Does a lot of talking as well. Obviously, they're a dummy half, organising the forwards, and had a little bit to say at that previous scrum before that one there, suggesting to his side the Panthers wanted to whinge their way through the game this evening. A bit of mind games happening out there. 15 minutes we are into the second half. Still deadlocked here at Parramatta Stadium. West and Penrith, 6 points all. Hopkins, he takes it to the line and picks up a good 10 or 12 metres. Cherry Mesher and Harvey Howard into a power of work for the Magpies. What about John Cross? 28 tackles already for Penrith. Brooker goes a long way back into his own in goal. Will do well to make it out to the field of play, and once again he does so.
Stand, Penrith.
Reek and Domick there to try and trap him in the in goal, but they couldn't manage it. Mills just takes the settler. Ken McGuinness gives it off to his brother Kevin. Got to dance his way through the defence. Howard striding out as he hit the defensive line. Gets up and plays it quickly. Mesher, another good run from dummy half. Oh, he's been a marvel tonight. To the left-hand side, Dinover. Better clearing kick this time. Over the head of Chris Hicks. And gets a kind bounce too for the Magpies. Comes to McGuinness. Both of them. And it's Kevin who makes a beautiful tackle around the bootlaces. Matthew Reek. Just his second game in the top grade, coming off the bench. Kevin McGuinness there, taking his place in the defensive line. Terrific chase from the man playing in the centres tonight, even though he has the number 6 on his back. Tommy Rodonicus shuffled the cards before the game as far as the back line was concerned, and it certainly has worked. Gaffey plays it. Adamson standing on the 40-metre line. Perhaps they're trying to work a 40-20 kick, but in the end had no choice but to come forward and kick it from towards west end of the 40-metre line. Oh, marvellous pickup on the run from Justin Brooker, a la Jamie Ainscough, who does Similar things for the St George Illawarra Dragons, almost at will. Fuller putting on a bit of a goose step. This game's had just about everything. Howard taking it to the line and then looking to spin and offload. Mesha. To Fuller. He's tackled just 5 metres on their own side of halfway on the last tackle. Dinover again. Plenty of pressure up in his face, but they couldn't quite get to him as he got the clearing kick away. Hicks picks it up on his own 20-metre line. Picks up another 10 or so. Kevin McGuinness once again the first man there. Beckett. Pace has been frenetic, and you get the feeling that perhaps a long break from one of the flyers, Beckett's known for it, might decide this game.
Well,
Carter.
They're playing chess at the moment. Neither team are going to want to take too many chances in this stage of the game. Simply work it up the middle, get good field position, kick, and hope they can force a restart.
McNamara plays it. Elvey a dummy half. Carter it is on the last tackle with just Hinson and Beckett to his left-hand side, but some pressure coming up for Davis, who was taken out of it. 6 to go, says Hampstead. Knocked down, played at by Kevin McGuinness, and it is 6 to go now.
Stand up.
Sattler waits for it at dummy half. Carter, he takes the looping pass and steps back to his left-hand side, loses the ball, and it is picked up by Dale Bonner. They let them off the hook once again.
Well, Carter screaming in the back play to the referee that he thought that it was reefed out of his hands. It didn't look like that there was any problem from the Magpies. Simply a little bit of an error. And that is a huge let-off for West. With the chance now to be able to work it away from their own line and kick and chase. That's going to be the important part, whether they can structure a good chase.
Hodgson will play it midway between his own try line and the halfway line. Mosley. Scandalis charging at them, taken around the chest by Gaffey. In fact, it wasn't Scandalis on the previous tackle. It was Dale Bonner in jumper 14. The kick was a good one, though, from the Magpies. And Sixu wraps it up. Dinover urging his side on. Matthew Reid stepping past players. Need to keep an eye on him. He is an absolute flyer in open space. Domick. Slammed to the ground. Another good tackle by Mosley. Sattler. A bump away from the halfback Dinover. Playing as the 5'8". Alexander. Gives it off to Adamson. The big man stepping in traffic. Played on the last. Elvey has to reach across a fallen Magpie to retrieve the ball at dummy half, and now it comes back to Brooker. Good chase from the Panthers. Just the one try so far in this second half, as there was only the one try in the first half. Inside the last quarter, if you like, at Parramatta Stadium. Still just the 12 points in the game, 6 of them each. Mesha. Mr. Coxon. Mesha. Looking for some cheap meters once again from dummy half, but had no option. Gives it back to Coxon. The last tackle will come down to Hodgson for the clearing kick. A good one as well, as he was collected as he got the kick away, but Hicks had to go all the way back to almost his own 10-metre line, and Kevin McGuinness has made an art form out of getting through and picking up the fullback on the kick return. Oh, and they forced a mistake as well.
Hands off now, hands
Second time in a row Carter's turned possession.
Barry Davis it was who forced the issue. Here they come. Inside the Panthers' 20-metre line. Scandalis plays it. Mesha goes to the right-hand side. Hodgson, with not too many options out there.
Oh, Carter's done his shoulder. He's not worth 2 bob at the moment.
He was carrying it early in the first half, and he is in big trouble. They spread the ball to the left-hand side. Dinover stepping back on the inside. Now he gets it back to the left. Brooker trying to straighten the attack and find a way through this Panthers line. Just 13 metres out. Dinover to his left-hand side. Coxon was there, gave it to Scandalis though instead. He bounced off one. A flick pass to Brabeck. Fuller throwing dummies. Still tackles left for the Panthers here. Mesher, they go to the right-hand side. Dinova's in everything. A grubber to the in-goal. Beckett! Oh, a close run thing is getting through very quickly was Barry Davis, but it has gone over the dead ball line, and the Panthers will tap it from the 20-metre line to restart it. But they will probably be without Steve Carter, you would think, for the rest of this game, although the 5/8 refuses to leave the field. I tell you what, geez, that was close. I wouldn't mind having another look at that before the telecast finishes. Beckett was trying to clear it. I don't think he was able to ground it, and Barry Davis got very close to scoring a try here. Here's Beckett, has a bit of an air swing. I think he placed the ball down on the dead ball line.
I bet there's one winger out there breathing a little bit easier now. It's rather great judgment.
It was a very close run thing. Here's the Panthers, though. On the last tackle, back in West Territory. Elvie with a towering kick. Jared Mills goes back. He can't handle it. And Brooker is there to clean up. He's been great in the fullback role this evening for the Magpies. Tough game last week against the Sydney City Roosters. And the Roosters ran in a number of tries in the first half and pretty much went on with it in the second 40 minutes. But Brooker has been the proverbial rock at the back tonight. Ken McGuinness. Mesher from dummy half, almost to the halfway line. Coxon a dummy half. Dinova gets the kick away. Looking for this Western touchline. Matthew Reed goes back to pick it up. Steve Carter off the field.
Yeah, okay, mate.
Be no surprise to see him finished for this evening. His right shoulder troubling him, and quite possibly that neck injury which has flared up in recent times and caused him to miss a couple of games. Elvie will play it for the Panthers. McGilvray stepping back in behind the ruck. Got a pass away, knocked down by Brett Hodgson. And it will be 6 more tackles for Penrith. Hopkins, racing up out of the line with Scandalous. Play on, says Hampstead. Hopkins was taken right around the borderline. Gaffey. Drew gives it off to McGilvray. Headgear comes flying off him as he charges at them. Alexander. Elvie now playing at the 5/8 role. Sattler stepping in traffic. Like a centre, he gives it off to one, which is Hinson. He's tackled just inside the West 20-metre line. 2 more tackles in this set. Hopkins runs towards them as Spence was content to wait. He got a ball out the back to Domick. He put the head down and almost found a way to the line. On the last tackle now. To the right-hand side they are spread. Alexander steps past one. Finds McGilvray. He steps back inside. McGuinness got the pass away straight to a Magpie. Sensational defence from Western Suburbs.
It is great defence. Penrith have butchered it as well. They had 3 players unmarked out wide. Torrid times coming up at the moment. The crowd trying to make sure that they let their feelings known to the referee, Sean Hampstead. One penalty could well and truly change the course of this match in the last 15 minutes.
Here's Mesher again, going from dummy half. What a game he's had. Dinova on the last tackle at dummy half, and it will be Ken McGuinness as a consequence. He gets the kick away, but it finds Hicks right on the chest. He barely had to move an eyelash. Reek from dummy half. Runs at the Magpies forwards. Alexander also off now. Both halves missing for Penrith, perhaps for the final 13 minutes of this game.
Warren, Steve Carter's taken the field. He's replaced Greg Alexander.
Carter is back out there, playing in a deal of discomfort, you would think. Here he is now at first receiver. Gives it off, throws a bad pass to John Cross, and Ken McGuinness picks it up.
Well, his shoulder's gone. He tried to throw that pass and he had no control over it whatsoever. I think he's got to just simply putting himself in a position at the moment as the Penrith reserves bench is in absolute horrors through injury. Simply work through organisation, get in behind his team.
Just under 12.5 minutes left here at Parramatta. Penrith have had 4 games in which they've been involved this year, which have been decided by 6 points or less. Their record, 2 wins and 2 losses in 6-point games, if you like. The Magpies, just the 1 game they've been in, they've been within 6 points of the opposition, and they won it against South Sydney, 20 points to 18.
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether they just opt for the 1 hit up here and then get ready for the 1-pointer. The field goal could be an opportunity as we get closer and closer towards the end. 12 minutes remaining. Let's see if they respond. Electing to run it.
Chipping for himself, perhaps, on the last tackle. The bounce wasn't a great one for Beckett, but coming back and cleaning up, and a good thing too, it was Andrew Henson. Beckett from dummy half. Got away from the first line. I mentioned he's the sort of player who can go the length of the field in a broken play situation, and if anybody's going to break this deadlock, he'd be an ideal man to have the ball in his hands for Penrith. McGilvray will play it. Still 13 metres on their own side of halfway. Cross at first receiver. Gives it away to Sattler. Fires the ball to Henson. A gap there for him, but Davis and Kevin McInnes combine to stop him.
Great defence.
Carter at dummy half. Gives it off to Elvey. Just chipping in towards the in goal. Keeping the ball in play. Brooker weighs up the options and is happy just to concede the tackle. Oh, the ball came out the back though. We've seen some desperate passes from both fullbacks. I still can't believe the pass that Chris Hicks threw earlier, and they almost scored from it.
Gee, I bet this one made Tom have another puff. Didn't need that. Well, that's a rake out the back. It's a 2-man tackle. Should have been a penalty to West.
No doubt about it. David Elvey it was who had the hand in there. My apologies to Justin Brooker. Thought it was a desperate pass. Oh, wasn't that? Mistake though by the Magpies. Spencer's put it down to McGilvray. He picked it up and gave it off to John Cross.
Yeah, what an important tackle. Nigel Gaffey, the man coming up with it. A great shoulder hit, dislodging the ball. Now Penrith with the opportunity to run it, perhaps wrap this match up.
Are they looking for the field goal? Here's Hopkins. He takes it towards the post. Carter would be the man, but injured, you wonder how he's travelling. Cross on the run around. Came back to Nigel Gaffey. Beautiful tackle around the legs by Braybeck. Adamson back on the field replacing McGilvray. Just trying to find a way to force his way over. He's taken by Matthew Spence. One more tackle for them. Here's Carter. Steps off the left foot. Hassled by the defence. Gaffey gets a kick away. Davis comes in, takes it on the chest, and once again the Magpies have been magnificent.
Yeah, and that is really poor organisation from Penrith as well. They should have realised that Maggie's defence was going to sprint out of the line to try and cut down the kicking options. Now they find themselves in a little bit of danger as well, Penrith. Great ball control so far from Western Suburbs, although the last couple of sets haven't shown that, but they've got to get their football at the other end of the park.
Brett Kenny, I was surprised they didn't take the field goal. Lee Hopkins put him in great position with a searching run towards the post to do just that.
Yeah, it is a bit strange. I mean, the ball
look
is
at Harvey Howard. Sorry,
well.
Brett, as he stormed forward, picked up about 25 metres. Here they come on the surge, the Magpies. A pass from Fuller to Ken McInnes. Desperate tackle, clinging on. It was Brad Drew. What a game he's had.
Will there be a drop? Look for Dinaver.
The war of the hookers it's been. Here is Dinaver with the field goal. It is there. He has kicked the one-pointer that puts the Magpies back in the lead. They are dancing on the sidelines and in the terraces. With 8 minutes to play. Western Suburbs lead Penrith 7 points to 6. What a kick under pressure.
Well, I tell you can thank one man that provided the opportunity for that drop goal. It was a huge charge up the middle. Just as Brett was talking, one bloke thought, well, I'll interrupt. I'll show just how good I am. He made about 20 or 22 metres.
The kickoff comes down to Ken McInnes. Less than 8 minutes left.
Well, I thought that was a strange choice to kick short there. 8 minutes mightn't sound a long time. That's enough time to win 2 football games. They had to put the ball deep and restrict West as far as they can. They're going to find themselves now running the ball away from their own try line.
And that field goal, of course, makes Penrith's decision not to take the field goal at the other end an important one. The forward pass there robs the Magpies of possession. Mosley it was who came up with it, but the pass to him was forward.
Well, West don't have to pass the football at the moment. Sure, simple one-out hit-ups is what's given them the opportunity to provide good stability all night long for their field position. Howard electing to run the football.
Hicks from the scrum base. They go forward. Carter gives it off to Sattler. He has lived on that left-hand edge of the ruck for Penrith all night. Back to the left they go again. Drew. Dinover very quickly away from Marker. Made a good tackle on Adamson. Here's Hicks. Stepping in traffic. Tackled by Harvey Howard. Drew from Carter. He gives it off to John Cross. Are they going towards the post themselves? Yes, they are. Cross takes them there. On the last tackle, 12 metres out. Carter to the right-hand side. They don't take the field goal. Off the legs of a Magpie, not played at, and they will get possession. Once again, Penrith ignore the field goal.
Oh, that's 6 cuts from the headmaster coming up from Roy Simmons. That really is wasting an opportunity to level the scores. They might feel that they want to win the game. Well, that's fine, but you've got to put the ball in the right position.
They certainly seem a little bit disorganised when they get down inside the 20-metre area, the Western Suburbs end of the field. But, you know, I just think that Greg Alexander's just gone back on, but he's nowhere near 100%. That groin went, as we saw early in the first half, and he's really struggling out there.
Here's Kevin McGuinness stepping in traffic. He got a kick away, chasing it himself. Coming through flying was Coxon as well. And Matthew Reed came from the right wing to clean up nicely. Now he gets away from a couple of tackles. It is end-to-end at the moment, and there is one reason Greg Alexander, of course, is back out there on the field, and that is to kick a field goal. Of the players on the field at the moment for Penrith, Alexander has kicked 14 field goals in his career, and Carter just 2. The last of them back in 1996, would you believe?
Oh, another Penrith player about to look to the sideline for an injury.
Well, Robbie Beckett it is, for being tackled. He hit the ground heavily in that bootlace tackle. Cross will play it. Alexander gives it off to Carter. Running to them. Slips a pass to Adamson, lurking out wide. He got it back to Henson. He was trying to force the pass, and finally he's tackled. Beckett still down on this Western touchline. On the last tackle, Carter rubbering for himself, tackled. After the kick, the play on, says Hampson, and back comes Justin Brooker. Stepping past Nigel Gaffey, he gets it back over the halfway line. Oh, terrific run from the fullback. What a game at Parramatta. Jaron Mills goes forward. The Magpies surging towards victory. Inside the final 5 minutes, that could be the game.
Everyone side.
McNamara wasn't back the 10 metres, made a tackle that had to be made, I suppose, and now they will take the kick. It will take, perhaps, if they convert it, Penrith out of field goal range, and could be enough for Western Suburbs to win this enthralling encounter.
And there's the shot that typifies everything for Penrith tonight. The head's bowed. Didn't really think there was any need to make that tackle either. McNamara probably felt there was desperation. Well, there's a New South Wales representative looking to his teammates who are out there tonight. Craig Gower probably wishing 50% he wasn't in the New South Wales team at the moment. He could be assisting plenty of tired teammates, but I think it's going to be in vain, because the desperation that this black and white outfit have shown out here this evening has been absolutely wonderful. There's only been one thing wrong with it, and that's Tommy's going to expect them to do it every week from now on, and it's going to be a hard performance to live up to.
They've shown they can do it. Here is Hodgson. 20 metres out. Didn't strike it all that well. Oh, he's missed it. To the left-hand side of the uprights. They will get the ball back, though, from a 20-metre dropout. He could have put them 3 points in front. Just drilled it low. West have it back from the 20-metre restart. Fuller it is who will play it. Back to Hodgson. What an important miss that could prove to be if Penrith get perhaps one last chance at a field goal in this game. Davis from dummy half. Alexander back off the hit field. He will sit on the bench and watch this last 2.5 minutes. Brooker standing in the tackle. The Magpies chant goes up. Scandalis charges towards them. Gets it inside the Panthers' 30-metre line. 2 minutes left on the last tackle it is. Dinova. A repeat set of 6 here could be very important. Reek goes back. Takes it in the in goal. Drops the ball. Still play on. Perhaps Hamstead is going to look at this because Dale Bonner thinks he scored a try.
Well, the ball came free. Did the initial man ground it, or was the second Penrith player in there grounding the football? Or was it dislodged? Strange, both teams don't really know exactly what's going on at the moment. Well, was that grounded? That's the only question that you've got to ask. Whether the slide, the ball has come free after it, there's no doubt about that. And the ball's been knocked out. Oh, but did he, well, 50-50, did he actually push it down? Or did he knock it out of his hands?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm pretty sure that the Penrith player actually didn't ground it. He was trying to pick the ball up. It's whether or not the Western Suburbs player's been able to have enough downward pressure.
Here's Matthew Reek with the ball.
Well, looking at that one, you'd think that he slid the ball down. But, oh, well, that angle looks like he's knocked it down. But video referees get paid for tough jobs. He's got one here. Not that it looks like it's going to change the outcome of the match too much.
Of course, the definition of downward pressure has certainly come under the spotlight in recent times, with a number of decisions being made by video referees, and well, slow motion makes it look so much different than it actually does in normal speed. It's hard It's hard to see here from this angle if Dale Bonner has got the ball down. Let's have a look at it again. Well,
it looks like he's almost knocked that forward a bit, doesn't it?
I want no part of this decision. I'll leave the box while John Gasham makes the decision. The Magpies don't think it's a try, though. They're lined up, ready for a goal line dropout.
Well, it should be a tap restart, if anything, if it's been knocked forward by the Magpies player. It'll be a knock-on over the try line with a 20-metre restart.
You're exactly right. On the ball is ever Wally Lewis. It will be a 20-metre restart. Look at the Panthers charge out. Reborn almost. McNamara. They've got 70 metres to go and just 90 seconds in which to work it. Cross. Throws a pass. Elvie. Quick hands. Comes out to Gaffey. He turns it back to Adamson. Running like an Olympic hurdler. Sattler a dummy half. Elvie throws a bad pass to Carter. Picked up by Domick on the runaround. Here comes Steve Carter. Gives it back to Chris Hicks. Pushes away from one. Gets away from Dinova. And then carted backwards by a trio of Magpies. Brad Drew. Domick at first receiver. Elvie throws a long pass. Adamson! Did he knock it on? Knocked back by Sean Hampton. Now he gets a ruling from the touch judge who was knocked forward. He is absolutely filthy about the decision, but that should be enough to win the game for the Magpies.
Well, if it's not, they deserve to lose it.
Well, there'll be some disappointed people because they are doing handstands in the grandstand here at Parramatta Stadium. The Magpies on the cusp of their second victory of the year, and well, that did look as though it went backwards.
Probably the only thing that he may have, well, the touch judge couldn't have seen it from that side if he's ruled it come off the hand and went onto the knee and then went backwards.
The Panthers with just 15 seconds left in this game, and the Magpies will work it one out from dummy half. Braybeck tackle. What a famous victory this could prove to be in the grander scheme of things in 1999 for the Magpies. The siren surely about to sound. There it is. Fuller takes the tackle, and Western Suburbs have caused one of the upsets of the season. They have beaten Penrith 7 points to 6 in an absolutely gripping game of rugby league here at Parramatta.
Well, and haven't they performed well? They should celebrate too. They did everything available. The game didn't have a lot of Attacking brilliance. If you have a look at the scoreboard, it wouldn't tempt you to think that it was open attack all the way through. But there was plenty of end-to-end play. There'll be some tired footballers out there this evening. The Panthers, their 3rd defeat in the last 4 starts.
They will travel across to the fans who are standing and giving them an ovation in the Eastern Grandstand. I'll go to anybody at the moment and can applaud them for cheering them on through this game. What a great game of football. Just an incredible victory. Leo Dinova with the 1 pointer that has made the difference at the end of the 80 minutes. Maligned by his coach earlier in the season for a lack of effort and performance at various times. Dropped to the reserve grade side, the 1st division team if you like. But how well has he acquitted himself here this evening? Harvey Howard, heavily involved, of course. Jerry Mesher, no doubt, as far as my mind, the most valuable player on this field for either team. Scott Coxon, he's got the Noel Crusher clear beard sported on the chin there. He played like Crusher at times tonight, charging forward at them. And they are delirious here. Just their 2nd victory of the season. A side threatened with extinction from the competition, perhaps. Rumoured to be talking with the Balmain Tigers as far as mergers go for the 2000 premiership.